Hey, where's Carlos?
Sleeping on the job as usual.
Hey, wake up, Carlos. Here goes your coffee, man.
Coffee! Coffee! I need a beer.
Hello everybody from, where are we? Portland.
Good day.
Portland, Oregon. So it's the AALSO 2025.
Yep.
And yeah, it's obviously your first time at AALSO as well.
Yeah, it is. My first time in Portland and in AALSO. And we've just been inspecting the ball, BAWL, also known as the Big Ass Water Loop.
Right, so I have to watch out. There's plugs coming out of the floor everywhere. Yeah, so the AALSO is the Aquatic Animal Life Support System Operators event. So this is not really a trade show. I mean, there is a lot of vendors exhibiting, but usually all those vendors have been with AALSO for quite a long time. So I've been attending AALSO since 7 years, I think.
Yep.
6 or 7 years. And the vendors take a big piece of the interaction because you get the chance to really explain the ins and outs and all the technology to people that are actually hands-on. So it's less curators and people like that on the management area of things.
Yeah, and
So-
the people who are actually using the equipment day to day.
Yeah, and so you get the chance to explain stuff. There's also hardware classes taking place. We'll see that during this week. We'll do some reporting on that. So behind us, you'll see this ball, the Big Ass Water Loop. No, what was the original?
Big automated water loop.
Big
but,
automated water loop, yeah.
It's got a special name.
Yeah, right. So there's classes that being taught on pretty much every bit of equipment that you could think of in a public aquarium. And then there's certification levels. The people actually attending the classes, they can take a certification exam, which is not easy. So
Yeah,
I've looked into those questions and it's quite complicated. You do need to learn, you do need to prepare and read a lot of things. So once you've done that, you get your certification and then you're, let's say, also level 1 or level 2 certified, which gives you a new employer that you actually know what you're doing. So
I think it's really cool.
yeah, absolutely. We don't have anything comparable anywhere in Europe so far. So I know that also has been doing an event in the UK, I think that was. They really should spread that worldwide because normally if you're an animal caretaker, if you do that apprenticeship or you study that, you don't necessarily know how the technology behind all this stuff works.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily get the hands-on experience with the big equipment until you're actually in the job. And
Right, and
Well,
that
yeah.
might be too late. And nobody actually knows whether they can do that. Now, if you have these exams from AALSO, your employer knows, okay, so you've done sand filter, you've done skimmer, so you can adjust those things and you know how to safely use them. We'll be showing you a little bit of the event and stay tuned. See you soon.
see you in a bit.
So Craig, little tour of the train maybe?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Just a quick intermezzo at the Oregon Zoo, where we got free tickets for as part of our conference admission. Yeah, we'll be having a look at what the train ride is. And just as we are entering the zoo, it's literally starting to rain. So it's been sunny the whole day, and now it's raining. How annoying. We gotta find the rest of the team. Stay tuned. So how do you like it so far?
It's a bit slow.
So, just one guy missing out of the dream team.
Yep.
So what do you guys think of AALSO? I mean, it's your first day.
I think this is probably the best show that I've been to for education purposes. The ball is awesome. I wish when I was starting out that I had the opportunity to come to something like this and learn. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I mean,
But tell the users, what's the ball?
oh, the ball is the big automated water loop.
So what do they do there?
But I think everyone calls it the Big Ass Water Loop.
Yeah, right.
And so there's all sorts of different things going on, from controlling with PLC through to skimmers, UV, automated valves. There's a sand filter you can see through. So
And it's actually all running. Like, I mean,
it's all live.
that's the biggest difference. It's all connected to the water loop. So everybody has to do their mistakes or problems or failures on
Yeah.
that loop. So
And that's the big, just to clarify, it's actually not they're not showing the product. Actually, that is to repair. They are learning, the operators are learning how to troubleshoot.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, which is amazing.
From gluing PVC and
Correctly.
acrylic pipe to repairing flanges and all these tasks that, as a technical actorist, you have to do. And it's
Yep.
not, as we chatted about
Yeah,
in Europe, most actorists, they get to do all the technical stuff. So
Yes.
we rarely have people on the team that specifically only for the LSS.
Yeah.
So I think it's a fantastic
Yeah,
thing
absolutely.
to get that experience. All the manufacturers are happy to contribute their knowledge, as we are as well. I mean, we've been here for a couple of years. I think it was 7 or 8 years now.
That's
So-
one of the greatest things too, because on the other trade shows, it's kind of like after the trade show, like the day is over, everybody has a group and they all separate and they go their own.
Yeah.
When it comes to this show right here, after the trade show, after the floor is closed, everybody just goes together to another location.
Yeah.
And you sit down, you chat. It's just one big group,
Yeah.
and
it's
that allows
really
for
awesome.
a lot of exchange of information. Even competitors, when you sit down, you're a competitor, but when you sit down and eat, you're just another person.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
No, that's really cool. Let's have a walk around and have a look at what the others are doing here.
Well,
Yeah.
somebody has to stay in the booth, so I'll let you both walk around, and I'll stick around here.
All right. You continue
See you in a
walking
bit.
then.
Yeah, I'll stay
See you in a
on
bit.
Let's go.
So, yes, sounds like hell, but we're not really truly in a state of cavitation yet. We're going to start ramping this thing up. It'll get a little loud, but what we're going to see, what's going to look like air bubbles. I mean, essentially it's air bubbles, but it's really kind of like little explosions going on in there.
Water degassing.
Yes, exactly. It's going to look like a tornado of little air bubbles. So if you were to let that go over time, you're going to dish out that vein right in there. It'll be all of them, right? Because it's going on all of them, not just that one. And you actually start removing material.
So, Craig, how did you like that demo?
Well, that was really interesting. Well, first of all, seeing the little tornadoes when a pump was cavitating, you hear it, but you never see it. And that was really cool to have the clear head on the pump. And that was a really cool, interesting demonstration. And then more so the lifting in the
Sand filter, right? Yeah, I think that's always impressive.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, nobody sees that normally, and
No.
most sand filters, they might have a little window, but it's usually on the wrong spot, so you can't see
don't
the
see
material
nothing.
lifting. No, right? Yeah.
So, yeah, really cool. And again, just part of why this is such an awesome show for people who are learning life support operation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely worth going to. So we'll check out some more. Matt, good to see you.
You as well, Alex.
We've been chatting a couple of times on the past conferences, and we just got to do back into talking because you needed the interfacing our pumps. So you're seeing our pumps more often in the
Yep.
market, which is
Yep.
great.
Yep.
I'm happy that's being recognized.
Absolutely.
What is your company doing? Why do you need that interfacing? And what services do you offer for
Okay, so,
aquariums or any institution you're working for?
so we specialize in monitoring and controls, and we were born in this industry. So we're not a controls company that came later to life support. We were actually founded by life support departments.
All right.
The R and the K in RCK were running life support operations at SeaWorld parks.
Okay.
And the C, when they formed up a business together, their goal was to start to bring in some monitoring and automation to improve operational efficiency within their parks. Animal life support is our niche. It's what we do. It's 99% of our business. We've been part of the AALSO community since its inception. I myself came from the operator side. I worked at several aquariums and marine science facilities.
Okay, so you're also a hands-on guy with experience.
Yes, I have 21 years as an operator and now 5 years full-time in controls.
Cool.
This is my business.
All right.
Yeah.
So
We're-
I see all those devices here.
Yeah.
That I mean, this is for me as electronics engineer. Everything with LED and blinking.
Yep.
That seems interesting.
Yep.
So, but then you also have the giant monitor. So
Yep.
just give me an idea of where do you start and where do you end with your.
Well, we always start in the same place, and that's a conversation with the customer.
All right.
Everything that we do is custom.
Okay.
So every single panel that we build is essentially one of a kind, and it's tailored to that individual customer's needs. We use hardware from vendors like Wago and Phoenix Contact, and it's all about making sure that the operators and the decision makers in that organization have the data that they need to know that their equipment is operating correctly and that their animals are well cared for. The major design philosophy focuses within our team are redundancy and fault tolerance. These are things that are vitally important in this particular application.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you open up one of our cabinets, you're going to see a lot of differences. It's going to look much more along the lines of, say, semiconductor process automation versus anything HVAC.
Okay.
It's much more along those lines. And above all, we pride ourselves on our support.
All right. Well, that's what we do too.
As well.
That's where you can make a big difference. I mean, everybody's talking about price first, but then in the end, people learn and usually they go like, if I would have spent a little bit more, I would have gotten that support that I need now.
Yeah.
So we get that a lot as well.
Yeah.
So that means, you've lights here, and we've been chatting about pumps. So all the pumps that we have, we can make interfaces, whatever you need. So in the past, we usually were interfacing to, let's say, standard analog control, 4 to 20 milliamps, 0 to 10 volts. Everybody at home with their home aquarium, they know those interfaces.
Yeah.
But we've been approached years ago already by more industrialized operators and system integrators, and they go like, 0 to 10 is great, but we don't know whether the pump is actually doing what it's supposed to do, because then we would have to measure all the other, the flow and the current and whether the pump is still operating, because 0 to 10 is basically just a stupid fire and forget.
Yep.
You don't know, there's no info coming back.
Yep.
You can integrate. We've been chatting about Modbus, for example.
Yes.
Profinet, you didn't want to. But you could. It's just more
we
expensive.
can and have.
Yeah.
We tend to favor the Modbus being the open protocol, right?
Right, that's a big advantage. In the pricing structure of Profinet, there's a lot to pay for those licenses.
Yeah.
For most smaller operations, like we all are, this is not
Absolutely.
the automotive industry
No.
where everybody has Industry 5.0 standard already, but I think Modbus is very good in terms of it being a safe connection, and it's not being interrupted as easy as other interfacings. So the pumps can do that too. But then why do you have the lights here?
It's not traditionally been part of our business, but we were approached by a customer who we've done a tremendous amount of life support system integration work with. They were unhappy with their lighting controls setup. And they approached us and said, would you be willing to give this a try? And we said, sure. So we partnered with Volaton's Lighting out of Finland. Their system is based on the DALI communication protocol. So we've been playing with them, and we've now deployed our first large-scale field deployment of a lighting system that's integrated directly with our life support control system.
Okay.
They make a tremendous product, as do you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'd love to see if we would get some Abyzz information on there.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And,
Pleasure.
Have a good show.
You
We
as
still
well.
have 3 days left, so we just might, do some more work on this. Well, all right. That's it for now. We'll head over to the next booth. Take care. Good friend of mine, Matt Conrad from Seaclear.
Hello, how you all doing?
What are you doing here?
Well, I heard there's free chips. So.
There's free chips. That's true. at least there's free chips. But Matt is also doing something else professionally. So what is that?
Yeah, I do that too. We sand and polish acrylic and make it look beautiful again. So if you have scratches or other imperfections in your acrylic, we can sand it down, polish it inside or wet side or dry side and make it look brand new, sometimes better than brand new. So
Yeah, depending on where you got it from
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
first place. You
Exactly.
also told me that you are also installing windows now, so that's a big part of the business.
Since the last, where are we? Also, we've installed quite a few windows, and currently it makes up about 40 to 50% of our overall workload, so scope of work. So yeah, we've been extremely busy with that.
Yeah. So Matt is also doing some videos on Instagram, I think.
Yeah,
Do
we've got-
doing YouTube as well.
Yeah, we're gonna branch out more into YouTube. It's been a while since I put up some new, fresh content on YouTube, but we're about to do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Make sure to check out Matt's videos, and there's some really nice projects, especially pools that we would all like to have at home, and none of us can afford. But yeah, you can for sure afford him polishing your windows, so make sure to get in touch.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. So another night at the zoo. We finally managed to
Mark
take
II.
a walk. Yeah, Mark II. So it's been yesterday on Sunday it started raining, so we had to stop walking around the zoo. So tonight on Craig's last evening and the official event at the zoo, so it's called Night at the Oregon Zoo, we are able to just walk around, roam the place, and check out every bit of life support system there is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna show you some of the stuff that we will find here. So next it's gonna be the ice bear, and that's polar bear, of course. So this actually was a hair filter for the polar bears because they're losing so much hair that all the pumps and all the technology would just become damaged or clogged. So they installed a sea filter on top of the building. All the water gets up there and then is being all those hairs taken out and then collected in buckets, and they ugly. All right, Craig. So
I gotta go.
yeah, you gotta go, but we need to do the video and we need to do the outro still. I'll just be following you.
See you later. There's your outro.
How did you like the time?
Yeah, it's been really good. I wish I had a little bit more time here to see everyone, but yeah, fortunately got to get back. But we'll be back in the States in 2.5 weeks for Raw.
Absolutely, that will be fun. Again,
Over in Baltimore, so not being there, so looking forward to that. And there's been a lot of really awesome people that I've seen, and a couple of from the UK. So hi guys, time to grab my luggage and go.
We'll be missing you for the next 2 days. That we will still be here. So
Oh, miss you too.
don't miss your flight. Grab your stuff and run, boy.
Yeah, see you later.
So my friends, I made it to Tullio's booth, and I'll be checking out this new light, and hopefully Tullio's gonna explain everything about it.
How's everybody doing? Alex, it's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too.
All right, so we're very excited about this new light. And what we're really, really excited about is actually the white channel.
All
The
right.
reason why we're so excited about this white channel is it is unique in that with many LEDs, as you know, you have the big blue spike kind of thing, and then the rest of the
And then nothing, and then all the rest. Yeah.
Right. So what we've done is, if you come to this light over here, the devices in this light, this is one of our Cora lights. It's the same core devices that we used here The reason why this is important, Alex, if you can focus in on these spectral images. So right here is the cool white LED. Here's the warm white LED. When you combine them, you get a mix. You're getting a very complete, broad spectrum,
All right.
spectral power distribution from the white. Then we have an actinic channel here that we call, it's basically like a violet channel. So if anyone remembers the old VHO actinic type of lights, it produces a very purple.
Yeah, that
type
brings
of-
out that punch on the chorus, right?
Exactly. And then the blue channel is the historic XHO blue wavelength configuration of 440 and 660 nanometers. So you're getting that kind of XHO blue as well.
I see there's hydros mentioned there. So give me an idea of why hydros and what does it do for hydros or with hydros. So what's the
so
idea?
here's first of all, we definitely want to thank CoralView. We've worked very closely with them on this light. Their team, the software, the control, it's all them.
All right.
We did the optoelectronics. As you're familiar, Alex, you work on many different products.
I do.
Our specialty, we're good at optoelectronics. They're good at control.
All right.
So we said, hey, why don't we put our heads together? And you would
Awesome.
appreciate this as an engineer, Alex. And we didn't realize this. Well, it was never intended to be that way, but it just worked out in a good way. This is the only true wireless hydros device.
Okay.
It has its own brain.
All right.
It's its own device. So if you're running a hydro system and you have your collective, this is literally its own device.
So it just drops in as its own device on the collective that you're already running
No
from your
additional
hydro.
wires or cables needed. And for those interested in the light as well, you don't need a hydros
to run it.
to run the light.
All right. So that's an important information there as well.
Yes, you don't need the hydros to run the light. It will come with software so you can do your ramping and the features. But of course, if you
Nice.
have a hydro system, here's where it gets really exciting. Your hydro system, the inputs from the hydro system can control this light.
All right.
Let's say we're looking at, for the Maven, you're familiar with the new
Yes.
Maven coming out?
Right.
So we're looking at where if your nitrates are this or your phosphates are this, you may cut back the light. You see what I mean? You
All
can
right.
really start integrating the
So
light.
it gives
right
you more controllability and more flexibility in what you're doing.
Exactly.
All right,
So
cool.
we're very excited about it.
Awesome.
Many times developing the product is the easy part.
Yeah.
You know what's the pain in the you-know-what? The packaging.
Getting it in the box.
Yes, putting it in the box, the UPC codes, the packaging.
Everything around that. Yeah.
Everything around
Absolutely.
the product. Designing the product is the fun part. The packaging, the labels,
Yeah.
the instructions. That's where all the details come in.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
That was
very
great
much,
info.
It's good to see you.
I'll see you later at the bar.
All right, yes.
So it's the last day. Craig has already left, so he had to basically run. And unfortunately, the last video files I totally messed up with him. So we'll record the next video later in English. It's been a blast. So also is now ending with the last lunch break. You can see there's almost no one behind me at the ball. I'll try to get some impressions from the ball for now. I hope you liked the video and the show. I can highly recommend anyone who is working professionally with aquatic systems and life support systems to really make sure to attend one of those shows and maybe even take one of those tests. There's also a very nice field guide available as a book that you can get off Amazon or from AALSO directly. That book features basically everything life support you need to know when you are running aquatic systems. Very helpful. And then having this explained, I mean, just the sand filter was super impressive. Cavitation of pumps, cavitation in valves when you are limiting basically the water flow down to an area where the water is starting to cavitate. Super interesting. All the other courses you can take at the ball, I mean, it all starts with assembling a system like this. That's the first and biggest workshop, up to gluing PVC correctly. I mean, this is really hands-on training. Highly recommended. I'll get you some more impressions from the show. And hopefully we'll see you again next Saturday. We'll be back in the States already in the next 2 weeks. So you'll see some more footage then from Baltimore at the National Aquarium, where we're going to be at the Regional Aquatics Workshop. Until then, check out our YouTube channels, like and subscribe if you like it. If you don't like it, let me know, send me a message, and we'll try to be better at what we're doing. Until then, take care and have a good time.